Welcome, Greenfield family, to the 2019-2020 Middle School JV Athletic Awards Banquet. This is a unusual time. I'm used to seeing everybody's faces and smiles as we reflect on the wonderful year we've had. But unfortunately, we can't do that tonight. But hopefully, we can reflect on the success that these young men and women have had, and they can be excited to see the accomplishments. My coaches have sent their awards and sent their comments about their team, but I just want to thank them. I want to thank them for all their hard work. We've had some pretty big middle school JV teams this year, and they found a way to make kids get better. They found a way to get kids in games. And I just, the JV and the middle school is the foundation, and our varsity would not be successful without the numbers and the dedication these kids they learn from a young age. It carries on to the varsity level. So on to our awards. We're starting off in the fall with JV girls tennis, coached by Coach Good. Coach Good wants to thank the girls for all their hard work and coming to practice to get better every single day. She knows sometimes it's very hot, but you came and never complained, and thank you again. She gave 3 awards. Coach Good's first award was the most valuable player. This young lady won 7 out of the 11 matches she played. She always played her hardest while she was having so much fun each match, whether it was a win or a loss. This year's most valuable player goes to Forbes Good. Coach's Award. This young lady would go above and beyond to help wherever she could. She would stay until the last match was played, even if she had to leave for soccer practice. I wouldn't have to ask her to do anything. She would just automatically start setting up the scorecards or picking up balls. Whatever she needed to be done, she would get right to it. This year's Coach Award goes to Anna Grace Bedingfield. Most Improved. She went from being terrified to play because she thought she would mess up the score or do something wrong to winning 5 of 6 matches she played. Her confidence grew tremendously, and it showed in her quest to be seated in the top 6, and it was so much fun to watch her play and enjoying it so much. This year's Most Improved goes to Louise Smith. Moving next to JV Volleyball, coached by Coach Kramer. Coach Kramer thanks all the young ladies for the hard work in the extremely hot gym. Thank you for coming to practice and getting better every single day. She gave 3 awards. Her Most Improved. This athlete had potential that she didn't even realize she had. The communication between coach and athlete was honest, sincere, and the search for doing better. She was one that I could count on whether we were on the court or not. It took some time for the athlete to trust me, but in time, I'm glad she did. She showed not only herself, but her teammates that she is truly destined for greatness. Her courage and confidence grew this season, and I'm very happy that I was able to coach her. When speaking with Coach Jay, this comment came up more than once. Her confidence is shown when she plays and how she talks in the huddle. It is with great enthusiasm that I present this award to Pauline Nago. Most Valuable Player. This athlete can be described as one who has natural athletic ability. It truly amazed me to see how quickly she picked up the volleyball and grasped the basics of passing, setting, spiking, and overhand serving. This athlete is someone who helped to carry the positivity on and off the court. Her ability and persistence are 2 distinguishing aspects that make her a great athlete. I am very thrilled to present this award to Serenity McNair. Coach's Award. This award goes to the player who demonstrates good sportsmanship, team spirit, teamwork, and skills throughout the season, promotes team unity, serves as a positive role model for our team. It can be difficult to balance the responsibilities of a student and a student athlete. This athlete was one that was always positive and constantly focused on getting better. I will never forget the look on her face when she got her first overhand serve over the net. It was pure excitement and amazement. This athlete will do great things in this sport, and I'm glad I was her first volleyball coach. This season's JV Volleyball Coach Award goes to Natalie Copeland. Moving on to JV Boys Soccer, coached by Coach Wilkerson. With this being a historic year for soccer in our program, having a total of 28 JV soccer players, this will probably be the most memorable to me. This by far This is by far the most kids I've ever coached at once, all in the same team. Having to only select 3 awards for this team was extremely difficult. There is so much talent and promise with this young group of players that I feel Greenfield School will be very proud to see what they have to offer when they make it to the varsity level. These players have very bright futures, and I can't wait to see what they accomplish in their careers. I enjoy everyone's passion and drive for the game and for putting their full confidence in me as a coach to help them accomplish their goals. I can't wait to see you guys next year and build off what we established as a team. Thank you. This year's MVP goes to Landon Coolball. This year's Coaches Award goes to Kel Winstead. And this year's Most Improved goes to George Batten. Thank you guys, and hope to see you in the summer soon. Moving on to the winter sports. Coach Cahill with the JV girls, middle school girls basketball. First of all, I'd like to say this team was a true pleasure to coach. With 5 returning players from the previous year that went 3-14, we had 15 players this year and our record was 14-6. I was reminded by one of the players this year after a game that we had just won our 10th game of the season that was the same day the year before that we won our first game of the season. They took pride in working hard and wanting to win, and it was a true team effort. We finished 2nd overall in the regular season and in the conference championship. We had 3 players make all-tournament team: Darcy Dean, Avery Williams, and Fletcher Worrell. I look forward to these girls evolving even more in the future of Greenfield basketball. And now to my awards. This award goes to the player that during the first couple of weeks of practice, she came out shy, timid, just trying to get the hang of basketball. But it didn't take long for her to become a threat during practice and games. She became comfortable enough to dribble the ball when needed and to shoot, but most importantly, she jumped on every single loose ball and rebound. Her work ethic was high at all times, pushing her teammates to work harder. This year's Most Improved goes to Louisa Lee. Defensive Player of the Year. This award goes to the player I could count on to guard the opposing team's best player. With her quickness, toughness, and work ethic and knowledge of the game, she was quick to get under a player's skin, denying them from scoring. She would come up with multiple steals, rebounds, and loose balls each game. She is a great asset to this team. This year's Defensive Player of the Year goes to Avery Williams. Coaches Award. When I think of Coaches Award, I think of someone who I can rely on to get the team going without being asked. One who always has words of encouragement for her teammates. The first person to step in and let her team know we can do this. Someone her teammates can count on to work hard, and I can count on. This young lady is all this and more. She is truly a breath of fresh air on any team. This year's Coaches Award goes to Fletcher Worrell. And Most Valuable Player. The MVP player goes to the player that the team relied heavily on, not only for the way she could bring the ball down the court and put it in the basket, but also for her ability to get back just as fast and find the ball at all times. She doesn't stop until the final horn, making her a threat against everyone we played against. She scored over 100 points this season, with multiple 20-point games. Nothing can faze this young lady. Even if a team puts multiple players on her, she handles the pressure well and fights harder. This year's Most Valuable Player goes to Darcy Dean. Moving on to middle school basketball, coached by Coach Atkinson. Coach Atkinson says, I would like to thank Ms. Peters and Coach Sauter for giving me another opportunity to coach the middle school boys this team. This year's team was very young and featured only 2 8th graders. Next season's team will be loaded with a lot of experienced players. Can't wait to get back in the gym. Coach Atkinson gave 3 awards. Most Improved Award has this player's name all over it. He came to every practice and worked hard like he was one of the older players. He did everything I asked for him to do and then some. The Most Improved Award goes to Noah Wright. My Coach's Award goes to one of the captains on the team. Even though he wasn't the point guard, he was still the coach on the floor. He held everybody accountable for their actions on and off the court. I could count on him to start our stretching and warm-ups with me without me even telling him to. The Coach's Award goes to Garrison G. Money Wester. Last but certainly not least, the Most Valuable Player. This young man had an unbelievable season. He made some great plays from getting steals and dropping nice assists to his teammates to knocking down threes. He has a feel for the game and always wants to get better. I'm sure the next season, being his last in middle school, will be one to remember. The MVP award goes to the sharpshooter, Charles Thomas. And our final team of the winter was the JV boys basketball team. I had the luxury to coach these young men. It was so much fun. They came to practice every single day with a great attitude, working hard, wanting to get better. We had a phenomenal season. Our record was 22-1. We led the game we lost. We led the entire game to the final 6 seconds. We were CPIC regular season champions, and we were also CPIC tournament champions. We just had a phenomenal season. We have a lot of young talent in the program. The future is very bright for Greenfield basketball. These young men came to practice in the games ready to compete and play as hard as they can. We played some real good basketball this year, and I had a lot of fun coaching this team. We did have some adversity. When Matt hurt his leg, I saw the love for his teammates, and they were determined to not let him and each other down. The players' roles changed, and they never complained. We continue to have success. I can't wait to continue to coach all of these young men. We had several young men get awards during the CPIC tournament. We had 3 CPIC tournament winners. CJ Austin, Bryson Wall, and Jackson Watt. And Jackson Watt was the CPIC tournament most valuable player. I gave 4 awards for this team. My Defensive Player of the Year award goes to a young man that made the big rebound, the big shot, the big steal. This year's Defensive Player of the Year goes to Bryson Wall. Most improved, I think this young man surprised himself on the basketball court. He came in every day and worked hard. He was not even the same player by the end of the season. This year's most improved goes to Porter Wills. Coach's Award. This young man ran our team. He got people the ball when they needed to. He made big shots. He made big defensive plays. And he continued to be a leader when he got hurt. Very proud of him. I can't wait to see what the future holds for him. This year's Coach's Award goes to Matt Kirby. I had to give 2 most valuable players for JV basketball this year because we had 2 kids that had phenomenal seasons. My first MVP goes to a young man that is not scared of anything, that is always on the attack, which I love. I love his aggressiveness. I love his ability to just to compete. He's going to have a bright future on the varsity level. Our first MVP goes to CJ Austin. My second most valuable player goes to a young man that I don't think realizes how special he can be. Extremely hard worker, very skilled, can do so many things on the floor. He has a very, very bright future here. My second MVP goes to Jackson Watt. I want to thank everybody again for all their hard work. I want to thank all the parents. I want to thank the administration for their support. I want to thank all the kids for their support of each other. Most importantly, again, I would like to thank my coaches for all their hard work. I can't wait to see you back on campus. You will be out here soon, and our coaches will be ready to get back to work. I hope everybody finishes the school year strong, and go Knights.